Hello my beautiful darlings, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Andres, and if you're hooked on books and stitches, you've come to the right place. Today's video is going to be all about my August TBR. I'm going to be choosing 8 prompts from a random wheel generator. I did go ahead and put in 30 whole new prompts that I've never used before, just because I don't want to be using like the same old prompts that I've used in other videos. So I went ahead and I used ChatGPT, bestie, to go ahead and give me a brand new set of prompts to go ahead and put into the wheel. And I did make it a little rainbow wheel, so you could see. Hopefully there's no glare, but it came out real cute, and there's 30 new prompts, so let's get into it. Prompt number 1. Prompt number 1 is indie author. So I actually already have one of those ready to go for this prompt, just because I was very kindly sent an arc for the Nemesis Pact by Ashley Lynn East. So I'm definitely going to go ahead and just get into it and decide that for prompt number 1 of indie author, I'm going to choose the Nemesis Pact by Ashley Lynn East. All right, so prompt number 2, let's hide this slice and let's spin it again. A book with a one-word title. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the physical TBR as well as my Kindle, because I know I have a couple on the Kindle, but let me start here. So I see Atmosphere, but that was in my July TBR, but I didn't get to it. So it could be a choice, but I'm not going to pick it right now, just in case. Okay, so the physical TBR, the only one with a one-word title that I have is Atmosphere by TJR. Now let me see my Kindle. Okay, so I do have one on my Kindle. It's called Almond by, I don't want to mispronounce the author's name, so I'm not going to even attempt to say it. So I'm putting it here on the screen so you guys could see which one it is. But I definitely did see this one a couple weeks ago while I was browsing Kindle Unlimited, and I got really interested in it. So I'm actually going to go ahead and read you the synopsis, just because I don't think I've seen anyone talk about this book before, and I thought it was really interesting. This story is in short about a monster meeting another monster, and one of the monsters is me. Yoon Jae was born with a brain condition called alexithymia. That makes it hard for him to feel emotions like fear or anger. He does not have friends. The 2 almond-shaped neurons located deep in his brain have seemed to do that, but his devoted mother and grandmother provide him with a safe and content life. The little home above his mother's used bookstore is decorated with colorful post-it notes that remind him when to smile, when to say thank you, and when to laugh. Then on Christmas Eve, Yoonjae's 16th birthday, everything changes. A shocking act of random violence shatters his world, leaving him alone and on his own. Struggling to cope with his loss, Yoonjae retreats into silent isolation until troubled teenager Gon arrives at his school and they develop a surprising bond. As Yoonjae begins to open his life to new people, including a girl at school, something slowly changes inside him, and when Gong suddenly finds his life at risk, Yoonjae will have the chance to step outside of every comfort zone he has created to perhaps become the hero he never thought he would be. It honestly sounds like really cute, like a very poignant and heartfelt story, so I'm definitely really interested. So I think for prompt number 2 of a book with a one-word title, I'm going to choose Almond by this author. All right, so let's go ahead and hide this slice, and let's go ahead and pick prompt number 3 out of 8. A book I've had for over a year is my prompt number 3. So I don't think on the physical TBR I have any books that are over a year, just because I'm pretty sure I've bought these within this year for sure. So let me take a look at my Kindle, because I know that I've had some sitting here for quite some time that I haven't gotten to. Okay, so I have 2 options, actually 3 options. So I have Quicksilver by Callie Hart, Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole, or I Hope This Finds You Well by Natalie Sue. Those are the 3 oldest ones on my Kindle TBR right now. So between those 3, 2 of them are fantasy. One of them, I guess, is like a kind of like a workplace fiction romance, maybe, I think, in a sense. So the first one I chose was a romance. The second one is more of like a Japanese lit. I guess I could give fantasy a try. But between Quicksilver and Spark, I think I'm leaning more towards Spark. Just good Quicksilver. I know that Brimstone is coming out this year, but I've been really dying to read Spark of the Everflame. And now that I'm given the chance. So, for my third prompt of a book that I've had for over a year, I'm choosing Spark of the Everflame by Pinnacle. Alright, so let's hide the slice and pick prompt 4. I hope you could see it, sorry. Random page generator. So what that means is I'm gonna go online to find some random page generator. I'm gonna probably stick it between the 2 to 500 mark, just because that's probably where most of my books are. I know that some definitely are over 500, but let's stick to 2 to 500. I think that's a pretty good solid number, and then let's see what it gives me. Let me find it online first. I don't think I looked this up beforehand. Okay, so I found like a really weird, kind of sus looking website called calculator.net, but it has a random number generator. And I put the lower limit at 250 just because I feel like maybe 200 is too low. I don't think I have any that are. Maybe I did, but whatever. So I put the lower number at 250 and the highest at 500. So a book between 250 to 500 pages. And now I'm going to go ahead and click generate. Let me just show you guys so you could see. And then hopefully I'm gonna go ahead and click. My result was 357. Let me zoom in so you guys can see. 357. So let me see if I could find a book with 357 pages. Please bear with me. Okay, so I found this one at 355. It's 2 pages away, literally. Then this one is Skinny Dip by Carl Hyacin, I think it is his last name. So that's one choice. Just maybe I find the 357, but that one is the closest that I found so far. So I have to choose that one so far right now. Let's keep looking though. Another one at 355, remarkably bright creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. Oh my god, I guess 355 is like a lucky number. But let me see. Let me see. I'm dead. Another one at 355. If We Were Villains by ML Rio. Another one at 355, guys. What the hell? Okay, so I couldn't find one with exactly 357, but like I said, I kept finding with just 2 pages shy. So I have between If We Were Villains by ML Rio, Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt, and Skinny Dip by Carl Hyacin, I think is his last name. I can't pronounce his last name. I'm so sorry. So I know that I chose Remarkably Bright Creatures for a previous TBR. I don't want to pick it again. Not really in the mood to read it yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and say no to that one. And let me see. If We Were Villains, I'm gonna read you the synopsis. Enter the players. There were 7 of us then, 7 bright young things with wide, precious futures ahead of us. Until that year, we saw no farther than the books in front of our faces. On the day Oliver Marks is released from jail, the man who put him there is waiting at the door. Detective Colburn wants to know the truth, and after 10 years, Oliver is ready to tell it. A decade ago, Oliver is one of 7 young Shakespearean actors at Delature Classical Conservatory, a place of keen ambition and fierce competition. In the secluded world of firelight and leather-bound books, Oliver and his friends play the same roles on stage and off: hero, villain, tyrant, temptress, extra. But in their 4th and final year, good-natured rivalries turn ugly, and on opening night, real violence invades the students' world of make-believe. In the morning, the 4th years find themselves facing their very own tragedy and their greatest acting challenge yet, convincing the police, each other, and themselves that they are innocent. Sounds interesting, but it's not really grabbing my attention like I thought it would. So I might go ahead and choose Skinny Dip because I know that the premise of this book was pretty good, but I'll go ahead and read you it too. Chaz Perone might be the only marine scientist in the world who doesn't know which way the Gulf Stream runs. He might also be the only one who went into biology just to make a killing, and now he's found a way, doctoring water samples so that a ruthless agribusiness tycoon can continue illegally dumping fertilizer into the endangered Everglades. When Chaz suspects that his wife Joey has figured out his scam, he pushes her overboard from a cruise liner into the night dark Atlantic. Unfortunately for Chaz, his wife doesn't die in the fall. Clinging blindly to a bale of Jamaican pod, Joey Perone is plucked from the ocean by former cop and current loner Mick Stranahan. Instead of rushing to the police and reporting her husband's crime, Joey decides to stay dead and, with Mick's help, screw with Chaz until he screws himself. As Joey haunts and taunts her homicidal husband, as Chaz's cold-blooded cohorts in pollution grow uneasy about his ineptitude and increasingly erratic behavior, as Mick Stranahan discovers that 6 failed marriages and years of island solitude haven't killed the reckless romantic in him, we're taken on a hilarious full-throttle, pure hyacinth ride through the warped politics and mayhem of the human environment and the human heart. I'm so sorry if there was a little bit of noise because Seppi decided to scratch herself and her collar was going crazy. I'm not gonna lie, this one sounds really good, so I'm just gonna go ahead and choose for the prompt of random page number generator, Skinny Dip by Carl Heisen. I know that it wasn't the exact 357, but it was only 2 shy, and we gotta go with what we get. All right, so that was definitely quite the lengthy one. Let's hide the slides and pick our 5th prompt. A book with a trope I usually avoid. So that's probably gonna be a romance for sure. So let me take a look because I'm trying to think of tropes that I don't typically enjoy. Okay, so I did think of 2 tropes that I really don't like reading about. One of those is definitely the miscommunication trope. It frustrates me to no avail when they don't have proper communication with each other. And then the second trope that I'm not a big fan of is the enemies to lovers, just because I feel like rarely ever do they appear as enemies to me. But so for sure, for the miscommunication trope, I do have one of those books, and that book is Happy Place by Emily Henry. So for my prompt of choose a book with a trope that I typically avoid, I'm going to choose Happy Place by Emily Henry. All right, so let's go ahead and pick prompt number 6. Author's name has a middle initial. So basically what that means is any author on my physical or Kindle TBR that has a middle initial in it. So let's see. I should have some. And so the first one I see here is Thank You Next by Andy J. Christopher. So that's one option. I am currently reading Such Quiet Girls by Noelle W. Eiley. And I could technically choose that one, but that's kind of cheating in a sense. So I won't go with that one. Okay, so ultimately I don't really have any others. So for the prompt of author's name that has a middle initial, I'm going to choose Thank You Next by Andy J. Christopher. I'm not sure if any of y'all have heard about this one, so let me read you the synopsis real quick. Single divorce attorney Alex Turner is watching reality TV when she sees her latest ex's new fiance picking out her wedding dress. Yet again, the guy she dumped went on to marry, or at least seriously commit to, the next person he dates after Alex. Fed up with being the precursor to someone else's happily ever after, she decides to interview all of her exes to find out why. Up-and-coming chef Will Harkness mixes with Alex like oil and vinegar, but forced proximity while growing up together means their lives are forever entwined. When Will learns Alex and her friends are going on a wild romp through Los Angeles to reconnect with their ex-boyfriends, he decides to tag along. If he could discover what her exes did wrong, he can make sure he doesn't make the same mistake with Alex. On this non-stop journey through the streets of LA, Alex realizes the answer to her question might be the man riding shotgun. Sounds cute, I'm not gonna lie. Might be very tropey, very basic, but at the end of the day, it's the only one that falls with the prompt, so I'm gonna go with it. Alrighty, last 2. We're gonna pick prompt number 7 now. A book that the cover is mostly one color. Okay, so I'm definitely going to choose one from my physical TBR just because the Kindle is black and white, so I can't see colors there. Okay, so I think one choice could be The Survivor Wants to Die at the End by Adam Silvera, just because it is mainly blue. Yes, I know there's some white, but it is mainly blue. Ooh, I'm not gonna lie, If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio, the one I mentioned previously, is mainly one color. Like, yeah, there is white too, but it's mainly black, so that could be one option. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna go ahead and choose If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio for the prompt of a book that the cover is mostly one color. Alrighty, so we're gonna choose our last and final prompt already, so let's hide that and spin. A book set in a place that I want to visit. Let's see. Oh my god, wait, I got it. So this one was actually chosen for me and my mom's book club for the month of August, coincidentally. And it was my choose. And this place I am dying to visit. Like, if you know me, you know that I really want to go to this place. So the one that I'm going to choose is One Italian Summer by Rebecca Searle. I've been dying. I'm even learning Italian because I really want to travel to Italy before I'm 30. I'm 27, so I have 3 years to get there. So I really want to travel to Italy before I'm 30, and I'm learning Italian on Duolingo. And I chose this book for my book club book of the month with my mom. So for sure, for the book prompt of a book set in a place I want to visit, I'm choosing One Italian Summer by Rebecca Searle. All right, so let's do a little speed run through all the books that I chose for my August TBR. So the first prompt was indie author, and I chose The Nemesis Pact by Ashley Lynn East. The second prompt was a book with a one-word title, and I chose Almond by this author. I don't want to mispronounce it, that's why I'm not mentioning it. The third prompt was a book that I've had for over a year, and I chose Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. Prompt number 4 was random page generator, and the page generator I set it between the 250 to 500 mark, and I got 357. I couldn't find the exact one with 357 pages, but I found one with 355, and I chose Skinny Dip by Carl Hiaasen. Prompt number 5 was a book with a trope that I typically avoid, and the trope that I typically avoid is miscommunication, and then for that one I chose Happy Place by Emily Henry. Prompt number 7 was a book with an author's name that has a middle initial, and I chose Thank You Next by Andy J. Christopher. And last but not least, prompt number 8 was a book with the cover that mostly has one color, and I chose If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. So after like 15 minutes of recording my prompts and reviewing the books that I chose, I realized that my microphone died, and yeah. So we're gonna have to just go with what that is. I'm so sorry if the sound quality got really spotty. I'm pretty sure that goes around the happy place part. I'm so sorry. It got really bad. But nonetheless, that is my August TBR. I'm really excited. There are a couple good books in there that I am excited to read. There's some that I'm like I might not get to it. You know, remember, it's just a list to go reference off. I'm a huge mood reader, so we'll see what I end up reading. Just because once you guys see my July reading wrap up, you'll understand. Because when you compare it to like my July TBR to what I actually read in July, big mood reads in there, big mood reads. But yeah, guys, if you like this video, make sure to give me a like and subscribe to my channel. Make sure to hit the notification bell just so you're notified every single time I post a new video. I also have my socials always linked in the description box below. It's always at Darling I'm Hooked on Instagram, TikTok, Goodreads, Fable, you name it, I got it. But with that, my darlings, let's get hooked.